Hello, my friends. This is the 1907 Grand Duke Dmitri Diary series, and we are still on the longish entry of the 20th of September in the Crimea, and it was the day when Dmitri celebrated his birthday. It was the main day when Dmitri celebrated his birthday, even though it was not his birthday. We're still waiting to see if Grand Duke Paul, if Papa, Dmitri's father, is going to come through with a gift this year. It was so disappointing the year before because he just basically sent some unmonogrammed handkerchiefs. So Dmitri he doesn't doubt that his father is going to send him something. He's hoping that it will be something that shows a little more interest in what he likes. And specifically, he's hoping it will be cigarettes, I guess, and smoking apparatus as a kind of fait accompli, I suppose, so that the other people in his life, the people who are taking care of him, will allow him to smoke. So he's 16, and yeah, so this is the end of that diary entry, so I'll dive in. GM's in a good mood, though the morning promised a bad one, because Miss June scolded Maria so harshly that she even burst into tears. Aunt Minnie and Uncle George will be coming to lunch tomorrow. My God, I hope they don't take us like on the 6th. Please, God, or there will be trouble again. Countess Alsufyev came to us in the evening. The old count couldn't, though we invited him. Tomorrow, what is really scary is that Dumbadze himself will be coming to wish me a happy birthday. Let us hope he doesn't stay long. 11 o'clock. Okay, very late. This is an hour past Aunt Ella's designated bedtime for the kids, and he's not even in bed yet. He's just finishing up his diary entry. So GM is apparently letting him have some slack a little bit. He is 16 after all, and Maria with Miss June, not so much. In the past, the tension has been between Dmitri and GM and Maria and GM, and neither of the kids are greatly fond of Miss June, but in this instance, it's Maria and Miss June who are battling, and Dmitri is, as always, is very vigilant and solicitous when it comes to GM's mood in particular. So he's happy to write that GM was in a good mood that day, even though in the morning it seemed like everything was going to start off bad and maybe get worse, because there was this dispute of some kind between Maria and Miss June. Miss June, June is short for Junkovskaya, and she is Maria's, I don't know if you'd call her a governess, maybe. GM Laming is the authority over both the kids. He's taking care of both of them, and he follows out Aunt Ella's, or carries out Aunt Ella's orders on how they are to be raised. But Miss June is maybe the second in command, and she's specifically more with Maria, and she seems to have been kind of I don't know. The kids aren't fond of her. She seems to have been kind of fussy and moody, and Maria is in a tumultuous state because she's being pushed into this marriage, and within the next few months, she'll be getting married in the spring of 1908, and will be the mistress of her own household. but she's still being treated to some extent like a child. So it's not hard to imagine that something like this would arise between her and her governess. But Miss June just doesn't hold back. She kind of rips into Maria so harshly, so severely, that poor Maria bursts into tears. And, how can you read that and not genuinely feel bad? Anyway, that's what happened, and Dmitri's main concern is that the tension is going to continue for the rest of the day. And so it's not really convenient that this is going to happen tomorrow, that Aunt Minnie and Uncle George will be coming to lunch. And I think, this is probably an extension of the birthday celebrations, although Aunt Minnie had that day taken Dmitri, or no, it wasn't Aunt Minnie. It was the Lamings took Dmitri off on a birthday outing to a waterfall, the first time he'd ever been able to clamber around and be up close with a waterfall. So Aunt Minnie is going to take them on an outing tomorrow to Yalta, as it turns out. And first, she and Uncle George are coming to lunch. So I think a birthday lunch. And Dmitri does not want to go with them to Yalta. And apparently it would be rude, or it would hurt their feelings, or he doesn't feel like he could tell them that he doesn't want to go with them to Yalta, not because he doesn't enjoy Yalta, but because the last time this happened, on the 6th, he tells us, so the 6th was his actual birthday, I believe the 20th or the 21st, well, one or the other was his name day, but so he doesn't want this, because on the 6th, he refers to it, his 1907 diary entries start on, I think, the 11th of September, but he alludes to there being tension and an argument between GM and Aunt Minnie, and it puts GM in a horrible mood, and that puts Dmitri in a horrible mood, and the last time they all thought about going to Yalta, he was also really anxious and worried about it, although it went fine. And this time, please God, he'd just rather not do it at all, or there will be trouble again. So we'll find out about that in the next diary entry. And the other thing that happens is that evening the Alsufievs, well, no, not the Alsufievs, only the Countess comes for a nice cozy evening with them, and she was she may have retired, but she was the head of Aunt Ella's ladies in waiting. So she was a friend of the family. She wasn't someone from outside of the family circle, which included the actual relatives. The other members of the imperial family, as far as Aunt Ella was concerned, following up on what Uncle Sergei had established as the rules, they were outsiders. And the people who were attached to Ella and Sergei were treated more like members of the family than the actual members of the family. But Dmitri doesn't talk about it being boring or anything. He seems to like them. And the old count couldn't come. I believe the countess was in her 60s. The count may have been older. They invited him, he couldn't come, okay. But what's freaking Dmitri out now, in addition to the idea that there's going to be a fight over Yalta the next day, is that Dumbadze himself will be coming to wish me a happy birthday. So, who is Dumbadze? Well, he is the mayor of Yalta. He's a man in his mid-50s, and his his surname immediately tells us that he is from a Georgian family. He's Georgian, at least on his father's side. So his name was Ivan Antonovich Dumbadze, and when there was a member of the imperial family in town celebrating a birthday or a name day, that person, it was sort of seen as the duty of the whoever was the local authority, whether it was a mayor or a governor, to come and congratulate that member of the imperial family, wish them a happy birthday or a happy name day or whatever. So you would think that Dmitri would be used to this, but maybe not. Maybe not. He's maybe not usually traveling on his birthday or name day. A lot of time they spend that either in Moscow or in Ilinskaya, and he would have known all the people there. So Dumbadze, presumably, he doesn't know. And so he's a little anxious about that, but mainly he just hopes the guy's not going to stay too long. He's not probably thinking of it as being something that will be fun. Yeah, so tomorrow, what are we going to find out about Papa, about Papa's gift, and about the trip to Yalta, whether it takes place or not, and what the result of that is? Well, we will see. So I hope to see you then. Bye.